If you clicked on this video, you probably expected an in-depth lore explanation of the egg and how it's playing out on the Dream SMP. Maybe you expected me to talk about Punz getting infected by the egg. Maybe you expected me to talk about the Syndicate's plans with the egg. If that's you, well, get bamboozled. You can watch some of the other videos on my channel if you're interested in lore. But in this video, I'm here to talk about the egg from a narrative standpoint. And the bottom line is, it's a problem. But not as much of a problem as not hitting the subscribe button, so let's remedy that. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's free and just takes a second, so if you could make that red button gray, that would make my day. Enjoy the video. Welcome to another Dream SMP commentary video. Now this one is actually a commentary and not a theory video. And if you've watched some of my other videos in the past, I think more recent videos especially, where I talk about my general thoughts on how the egg is playing out, you might know that I'm not entirely super fond of the arc. Now I'm sure that there are die-hard fans of the arc that would consider a video like this slanderous, or even maybe like diminishing the amount of effort that goes into like sort of quote-unquote scripting the Dream SMP. And you know, I'm not here to say that what they're doing is necessarily bad. I'm just here to say that the idea and the execution are just fundamentally flawed. Okay, so with that said, let's go into the first main reason. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in the past, but in general, eggs or arcs that surround things like magic, like if it's not straight up, if everyone's not on like the exact same page with a sort of magic arc, the arc's not gonna work. You see all these shows that include like things about magic, but those shows work because they're pretty fundamentally being written by like one or a small group of people, and it's being executed like with a script. And by script I mean like a proper full-on script. Like people know exactly what's gonna happen, people know exactly what they're gonna do. The Dream SMP doesn't operate like that. The Dream SMP operates on a system of ideas, kind of like the way I write my videos. I jot down a bunch of ideas on some stupid notepad and I present them sort of impromptu. The way magic arcs work and are successful in like historical works of literature is that it's one or a very small group of people working on something, and when they're doing that work, they have things that are very much scripted. Things are going to planned out to a T. Whereas I feel like the Dream SMP doesn't operate like that. The Dream SMP sort of roughly scripts things out, kind of like how I script my own videos. So in general, I feel like it's just not going to be successful in that front. Just to see the particular problems with the egg, we have to look at what made L'Manberg so great, or what made L'Manberg so much better. And I guess the first thing that comes to mind is the obvious difference. L'Manberg was based on political strife, and I mean, I'm American, so I might be a little biased here, but last year was the year of the 2020 election. So political strife, there was straight up an election in the Dream SMP. People were already aware of like political conflicts because of the 2020 election, and people were generally pretty interested in that. So there was a lot of like research done into how political stuff works and how like political takeovers could have problems. Like the general public was already both educated and interested in what was going on in the Dream, or with politics in general, and especially on the Dream SMP. Next, the actual like storytelling and the actual ideas around the plotline are consistent. And with an arc that's more focused on like something realistic, that's a lot easier to do. Because when you have something magical like the egg, like people don't know exactly what the limits are with the egg. People don't know exactly what the egg can do, what it can't do. Tommy seems completely unaffected. Badboyhalo and Antfrost are like completely taken over. Like there's some weird mind control stuff, but the whole mind control stuff seems pretty inconsistent throughout. When people don't know how to act around something, or if people don't know if what they're doing is consistent with previous conceptions of lore, then they're not going to act around it in the first place. I think that's why we haven't seen too much interaction with the egg from people that partook in L'Manberg. Like a lot of those people aren't really interested in how the egg is going to play out because it's so different compared to L'Manberg that it's hard to actually roleplay properly. Because, like, let's say they mess up one bit of the lore, like maybe the egg was supposed to take them over at some point, but they were doing a canonical thing, and since they didn't know, they didn't get taken over, and like suddenly all the lore gets thrown into shambles. It's a problem that's unique to an arc that surrounds magic, like the egg. And then there's also the argument of stakes. With L'Manberg, there felt like there were real stakes. Like, if something blew up, that's like hours of work and building and resources down the drain. Like, beyond just acting, beyond just like, oh, Tommy's like scared face, we know that there was like genuine love and effort behind like both the first L'Manberg and new L'Manberg. There was genuine effort and resources and time devoted to creating that. With the egg, it's solely based on acting. And on like a Minecraft roleplay server, these people, like, they're good at acting, but they're no like award-winning actors. Like, they're not able to convey that emotion as effectively as would be necessary for an arc like the egg to work. So instead, the reason why L'Manberg was so successful was because there were like actual material stakes at risk if they were to actually lose L'Manberg. That's something that doesn't require like an acting degree to convey. Arguably, the worst part about the egg is that people on the server, I feel like they flip-flop between whether or not to take it seriously. Now, this is actually something I touched on one of my like very first commentary videos. If you're interested in like going back through my videos and watching that'd be pretty cool if you do. If you do that, comment below. I won't have any way to verify it, but I'll give you like a thumbs up or something. But the thing is, people on the server, I feel like they don't know whether to take the egg seriously or not. With L'Manberg, it's like I said, there's actual stakes with L'Manberg. They don't have to think about whether to take it seriously because there's actual things that are going to like be lost beyond just acting and beyond just lore. There are actual genuine builds and effort that is going to be lost if the L'Manberg is destroyed. Whereas with the egg, like, oh, the egg took over another person, okay, so out of canon they can still play normally, but in canon I guess they have to play this role. That's not a big deal compared to what people would actually lose if L'Manberg was blown up. So I feel like people just, they don't know whether or not they want to take the egg super seriously. Furthermore, there's all this like other stuff on the Dream SMP currently happening that people are actually more interested in taking seriously. Stuff like the whole home ownership, which although seems like a joke, I feel like more people are taking like the whole hotel deal seriously. Like, more people are taking that seriously compared to like the egg. Beyond that, there's obviously the whole revival arc, and even further beyond that, there's Killing Dream. Now note that two of these are actually related to L'Manberg, so obviously those two are going to have higher interest. Even more than that, I think an arc on the Dream SMP has as much success as it would because the highly popular members on the Dream SMP actually focus on it. And by highly popular, like, obviously all of them are incredibly popular, garnering like tens of thousands of live viewers. But when I'm talking popularity, I'm talking like relative. Like, if someone like, I don't know, I honestly don't even know who's like a small creator on the Dream SMP, but let's say a creator on the Dream SMP, they get like maybe like 5,000 live viewers. Compare that, and like they're doing stuff with the egg. Compare that to Tommy, who has several 100,000 live viewers talking about Killing Dream. Which one are people going to care about more? Obviously Killing Dream. So if the egg lacks an actual audience that cares, and if the egg lacks people on the server that care, fundamentally the egg is not going to work. Like, the whole arc itself is not going to work if people can't be bothered to take it seriously. So I realized that this video is probably getting a little long and ranty, so I'm just gonna cut myself off there. I feel like at this point, the only real way for the egg to come back is if they connect it to Killing Dream somehow, or if a streamer that is roughly equal to size to Tommy, also known as potentially Ranboo or Techno, start focusing on the egg. I think that's what they were trying to do with the Syndicate, but because of Techno's like infrequent streaming schedule, it's a lot harder to make something like that work. So really, if no one takes the egg seriously, then it's not going to work. The egg has overstayed its welcome, and it's about time it steps out the door. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you like, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you think it deserves it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!